This is the story of how I went 6-3 at YCS Hartford with Crystal Beasts and got my invite to Nats. If you have no idea what I just said, hello returning subscriber. I've been playing Yu-Gi-Oh since the very beginning, so when this championship tournament came around, I thought I'd vlog it and show you a little of what goes on at these things. Cause, oh boy, was there some drama. But first, we have to get there. My friend Terrence and I had been working on this crazy strategy that used all sorts of random, unrelated cards nobody would ever see coming. It basically crammed 12 different decks into one package, truly Yu-Gi-Oh's maddest creation. Here's a quick demonstration if you're curious about how this game looks, and if this makes no sense to you, well, this game makes no sense to us either. First, I use Noble Knight's Shield Bearer to search for my Crystal Beast Sapphire Pegasus, play that, and it gets Rainbow Dragon, which gets another Crystal Beast and a Rainbow Dark Dragon, slap those together for a Traptrix Rafflesia that can pull out Gravedigger's Trap Hole to block any disruption, recycle the Knight and Rainbow to play a Nemesis, which gets another, and those become a Predaplant, which becomes a Mirror Jade fusion monster, which takes out the opponent's best monster by dumping another fusion, which gets you to Tri-Brigades, who fill up the discard pile and make some Link monsters that'll snipe another opponent. It's a bunch of small combos whose byproducts just happen to fuel the next combo, and because the opponent can't even guess at what comes next, they don't know how to stop me. It's called Sapphire Surprise, all centered around this card, which came out 15 years ago. I was one of the best Crystal Beast players for a long time until they were finally power crept into obscurity. Then out of nowhere, this new, even gayer Rainbow Dragon card comes out, and I've got my new strategy. Bringing these cherished old cards to major tournaments after so many years, it does feel like my story is wrapping up. But just as I obtained the last card I needed, one of my most important cards was suddenly banned, shattering those perfect synergies. I only had until the following night to jettison half the cards in my deck and rebuild something new. My teammates lost all hope, and I had to push my mind and body so hard that I wouldn't recover in time for the tournament. The end result would have been rough even if I did know half of what my cards were capable of. What I came up with was no longer compatible with the budget options I'd been counting on, but what Terrence came up with no longer used the more expensive cards he'd gotten, so he graciously let me borrow them. It was a 2-hour drive down to Hartford. I came armed with Legally Blonde, but drove in silence anyway. Silence is underrated. Vaccinations and masks were required, but looking around you wouldn't think that. Seriously, people, it's been over 2 years. We will continue to suffer through this until we choose to care about each other. Met up with Terrence and waited as he chatted with a friend. I also made a friend, and he was just lovely.
Crystal Beast players assemble!
Yo!
Woo! We are at the tournament. How's everyone feeling?
Ready to win. Anxious.
I feel anxiously ready to never play this game again. Everyone else's deck's really good, and it's a very high stakes and stressful game.
Listen, you just have to win 2 games, and then you can just drop the side events. No one will blame you.
Set reasonable expectations. Though, I think he's gonna win. You can take it.
We'll see if I get more than 1 or 2 wins.
He took some time to sit down and organize the mess of cards he brought. I traveled light with nothing but my deck. The less you bring, the less you have to manage. Each round was 45 minutes, but they were getting delayed by a half hour or more. In the meantime, I'd retreat to the farthest empty space, stretch, get some fresh air too, if I could find a spot away from the smokers. Just gotta be sure to hurry back before the next round starts. And by the way, do bring water and snacks to tournaments, but go light on the water and scout the convention center for an isolated bathroom before hour 12, because you do not want to share with the other 1,500 Yu-Gi-Oh players. The first few rounds went real badly for us. We weren't at the top of our games, and lousy luck made it worse. Terrence dropped out and went home. I couldn't blame him for leaving early, though. This game is exhausting. I can't record my matches, of course, so for fun, we quickly switched our decks back to the old versions. Enjoy a couple minutes of silliness, and don't worry if you don't know how to play Yu-Gi-Oh, as if this would make any sense anyway.
So I'm going to start by using Heritage of the Chalice, which is going to search my deck for... Gotta find it in a big deck. Noble Knight's Shield Bearer, which I can banish. Oh my god, this is so big. Searches for Pegasus, which I'll summon, and then that will crystallize Rainbow Dragon, which vanishes. To add to my hand, Rainbow Dark Dragon, and special summon, play Sapphire Pegasus. So I can overlay these two. And that summons Traptrix Rafflesia to protect my combos. I can use Chaos Space, which will discard this, and it searches my deck, which I can summon by banishing the Rainbow Dark Dragon. Whoops, I can see Wyver Burster. I can link that off into Striker Dragon, triggering Wyver Burster to search my deck for the Black Dragon, banish White Dragon, summon Black. Also use Chaos Space, which puts this back in the deck, and I draw a card. And we can combine these two into Activate Anaconda. This is the card that's banned. I wish it was back. I need it in my life. So Black Dragon then gets to search for this, and I can activate Anaconda's effect, which, well, I don't have Branded Fusion in my deck right now. We'll just pretend I remembered it. Not to the graveyard. We're a bit of a mess right now. So it fuses with Fallen of Elvis from my deck to form Mirror Jade, the Ice Blade Dragon. And then I'll just throw down 2 traps in on my turn.
Draw phase, I'll go High Spirits,
Yep.
Kit, and Rygrand for Incredible Ecclesia.
Yep.
Effect Kit.
Oh, I can negate Kit by using Trap Tricks or Aphlesia. It detaches a material.
Yep.
And then it will activate. I'm trying to find it in my deck
It's okay,
here.
we'll pretend it's there.
Grave Digger's Trap Hole.
Foolish
Yep.
for Kit. Sorry, for Nerval.
Yep.
Excuse me. For Kuros.
And I will negate your Nerval search by discarding Mercurier. Because I have Mirror Jade out. Oh my god, who's cutting in casual?
Oh, shit.
Get out of here.
Normal summon out Nerval.
Yep, ooh. I see something you're trying to do here. Because you search for Ecclesia. Oh goodness. He's got me in a bind. I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna activate Mirror Jade. So that's gonna send this to the graveyard and banish your monster.
Special summon out Incredible Ecclesia the Virtuous.
Yep.
Read it for Albus.
Go for it.
Okay. And then activate the effect of Albus.
Albus fuses with my Mirror Jade
Yep.
to make his own Mirror Jade.
Yep. Mirror Jade swing over Ecclesia.
Yep.
And this is banished, right?
Yep.
I'll pass to you.
I am carrying the torch for all the Crystal Beast players now.
Yeah.
He's going to be heading out in a bit. How was it?
It was a lot less like intense than I expected. I think like people when they describe these major events, they often talk about how like you have to constantly watch for everything. People will constantly try to shark you. Like people were generally pretty chill, and it made me feel more comfortable going to events in the future.
Yeah, especially like after people have lost a few times and their
Yeah.
chances of making day 2 dip a bit.
And you were taking COVID more seriously than I think anyone else was. So that's
It's Yu-Gi-Oh players here. Would have bet on you making day 2.
No, yeah.
And me not even getting this far.
No, I think the ability to like play through scenarios matters more than I think the deck was. So even though like a lot of the deck doesn't work as well without Verte, I think like just being able to navigate through cards counts a lot.
My neck hurts a lot, but we got another 2 hours to go. It was good being able to have time to spend with a friend.
Yeah.
Especially when I was feeling really hopeless in the beginning. It's not like a solitary experience where like the only thing that matters if I win. I have a friend. I feel like more of a winner already today than I did in those actual tournaments I was winning. Friendship.
So he left, but me, I still technically had a chance at surviving to day 2 if I just kept winning every match for the rest of the day, so I couldn't give up, no matter how much pain my entire body was in. Luckily, I still wouldn't be alone, since I met someone else from our Discord group. He also dropped, but stuck around to rack up prizes from side events. And win I did, and when the day 1 results were finally posted after 13 hours in this prison,
I placed 210, so I guess I didn't get into the top cut. It was on tiebreakers at that point, and
1 point off.
but I did the best possible to not make day 2. 6-3 with Crystal Beasts at my first YCS. No one can say that.
Pretty huge.
Maybe I'll internalize that I still did well considering the circumstances, but not now.
It's nearly 10 p.m. We got here at like 8 a.m.
Oh yeah.
14 hours of Yugioh.
I am all Yu-Gi'd out for a very long time. Might play in some side events, I'll let you know how I feel.
Alright.
It has been nice meeting you too, unexpected friend who I didn't work on this deck with, but who is nonetheless a fellow Crystal Beast enthusiast.
I'm just a random guy from the Discord.
Just a random guy, he's turned out to be very pleasant, so once again, meet strangers on the internet. Nothing bad will happen. I don't think I can legally recommend.
I had risen from the ashes and endured all those battles for nothing. My friend saved me yet again by hyping up that, you know, it is pretty amazing that I got a 6-3 showing with a Crystal Beast deck I built in 2 delirious days at my first YCS and my first tournament in 3 years. So all things considered, yeah, okay, fine, I guess I did win after all. Just arrived at the Airbnb place. It's 10:51. I'm not a vacation person, and oh boy, ain't this why. I've never done this before, and I never should. We'll see where I'm at tomorrow. I'm just not gonna force myself to go if I'm not feeling up to it. Be kind to yourself, and be kind to your friends. I also got a message from my friends. Actually, I'm even surprising myself with, like, just how concerned I am about my friends, and, like, how they're feeling, and, like, making sure I can do little things for them. It's like, wow, if only I could care about myself half as much. Okay, I'm gonna say that getting a place with a hot tub was a good idea, even if I'm a weirdo using it at like 11:30. Okay, I know this is about Yu-Gi-Oh, but also like self-care, y'all. It was a stressful day. Yu-Gi-Oh is a very stressful game, and it is also a game, so get the experience of it, which, you know, makes your life a little better. Make friends, you don't have to win. I don't know. I would have liked to win with Crystal Beasts. And then we're back for day 2! I wasn't in the main event anymore, but there were still side events to play in. Most are quick single elimination brackets that award booster packs for participation and a collectible playmat to the winner. You also get tickets to exchange for assorted leftover prizes. We also added to the crew one of my opponents from yesterday. He was sociable and we had a fun match, so we stuck together for some company and to further share in each other's victories. Like this, by a crazy stroke of luck from some random packs, I managed to pull one of those very rare cards which Terrence had loaned me. Oh, and I pulled this other card worth like a couple hundred, but the Guardian Chimera was way more fun. Seriously, I wasn't happy because I got these rare cards. I was happy because I had friends to share in the absurdity. Without them, I would have just sat in a corner silently waiting for the next round to start. I didn't get first place or 200th place, but I sure felt like a champion. I thought about when I last played 3 years ago, going undefeated week after week after week. I was the best, but I was miserable. I had no friends, and everyone hated me out of jealousy. When they say the real treasure was the friends we made along the way, let me tell you, that is not a joke. So I get home, I collapse, I'm ready to retire from Yu-Gi-Oh, and then I get a message from Terrence. There is a regional qualifier for the North American Championship in exactly 1 week at the same exact venue in Hartford. National Championship, big whoop, like I'm really gonna waste $1,000 on travel in a hotel to fly to some random place like, oh, the National Championship is in Chicago. Don't I know someone in Chicago who I've been meaning to visit? It never ends. So I've got 1 week to brush off the exhaustion, recalibrate my deck, get whatever new cards it's gonna need, play in a local tournament for practice and win first place, and we're back in Hartford! I was supposed to come back for 1 tournament and call it a life. The event was tucked away on the 2nd floor with no signage, so I showed up already frenzied and out of breath, but with just enough time to sit down and center myself. The regional tournament got off to a similarly bad start. I was beating myself up real bad, but Terrence encouraged me to snap out of it, and again, once I get going, I just nothing but wins going forward, not even sure how I'm doing it. My opponents certainly don't know either. I'd settled into the rhythm of packing up my deck box, turning in my match slip, and then ducking away outside to update the Discord and take care of myself. I'm very tense, so after a few hours of these matches, my whole body's hurting. My brain actually tends to handle this stuff pretty well, since it's always craving that stimulation. I've noticed something. Yu-Gi-Oh players who spend $1,000 chasing the hot new cards get angry when they lose to someone using cheap, obscure jank. I guess I should feel bad for them, but I don't. If you're only playing to win, you will never be satisfied. The only real way to win is to use cards you love, be doing something meaningful to yourself. My wins took me all the way up to table 4, where my game started drawing big crowds. Not even the judges could believe what they were seeing. This unintelligible mashup of cards dating back 15 years, strategies and plays no one had ever seen until Terrence's genius mind started cracking the code. Honestly, in our little Crystal Beast team, I feel like I'm nothing more than the emotional support himbo who just happens to be the best player on the field, and so in a comedy of errors, I become the team's last hope. Players and judges were ambushing me, asking for my secrets. I'd apparently gained quite a reputation. I'd like to thank Terrence here, not just for loaning me those cards, not just for the moral support, not just for getting me my own incredible Ecclesia, which I'll treasure forever as the real trophy of YCS Hartford and all the blood, sweat, and tears and hopes and dreams we put into creating this deck, but also for not telling me how difficult it is to win a regional until after it was over. So, where am I at now? I've been cramming for the North American Championship. I'm leaving in 1 week. This has all been so fast and so utterly chaotic, I can't even process the flow of time here. I'm the only crystal duelist who's made it to the end. I don't have survivor's guilt, because even I have to acknowledge that I've been playing this game for 18 years, and I am very good at it. I have earned my victories. And I think the universe wants this for me too. I mean, what else explains the timing and proximity of these tournaments, and that lucky Guardian Chimera, and the friends I've been blessed with, and even at the final battle, I still won't be alone because Char's gonna be there. Regardless of what happens next week, I feel like I've already won. But I'm not done yet, so my opponents better get ready to taste the rainbow!